This is what I'm calling our Armed Forces Sweep, and we're going to kick it off by inviting up onto the stage, and I saw him a moment or two ago, a very distinguished, very sharp-looking gentleman, the best-dressed gentleman in the house this evening, and he won't blush when he hears me saying so. He's the former Director General of the RAF Medical Services, a long, long career in the RAF. He's worked in the NHS, he's worked for Save the Children across Africa. He now teaches at the Harris College in Manchester. He's an Air Vice Marshal. He is Arup Mozumder. Please welcome Air Vice Marshal Arup Mozumder to give us a few words. And watch, look at how sharply turned out he is this evening. Absolutely splendid, Air Vice Marshal.
Thank you. Well, I wasn't expecting a welcome like that. Royal Highnesses, Marcia, honoured guests, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the MOD and the United Kingdom's Armed Forces, it gives me great pleasure to co-sign the Armed Forces Covenant with the Phoenix newspaper here today. The covenant represents a pledge by the nation and by the organisations that choose to co-sign it to ensure that those who serve or have served in the United Kingdom Armed Forces are treated fairly and compassionately. The Phoenix newspaper, in co-signing this today, will make that pledge, and I'm delighted that such a progressive, community-based, forward-thinking organisation with a commitment to reporting positive, informative, and objective news should become a part of the Covenant community, and I'm delighted to be part of that. There is no better way of showing support than through organising an event like this, when the achievements of our armed forces, together with our emergency services and the health services, are duly recognised. On behalf of all attendees, I would like to pass on my sincere thanks to the Phoenix newspaper for hosting this amazing event and for the work they do in promoting inclusion through the successful integration of diverse cultures, which is vital in these difficult times. 2018 will be remembered by many as a year of anniversaries. Earlier this month, we commemorated the 100th anniversary of the armistice that brought an end to the horrors of the First World War. It is impossible to imagine the suffering or torment of those involved in fighting that war, and it is equally important that we never forget the sacrifice that they made. Over 1.5 million soldiers from countries that we now recognise as members of the Commonwealth fought alongside their British comrades in that conflict, something often forgotten, including 15,000 from the Caribbean and including 10,000 from the island of Jamaica, and also 180,000 from the Indian subcontinent on the Western Front alone. By the end of the First World War, over 1.2 million Indian soldiers had volunteered. That then, of course, included present-day Pakistan and Bangladesh. 20 years later, nearly twice that number of soldiers from the Commonwealth countries fought in the Second World War, supporting their British comrades. And this is something we tend to forget. When we reflect and remember and talk about those who served in the armed forces, it is really important, therefore, that we recognise all those who serve from all our communities and the impact it had on them, their families, and the communities they left behind. This year also marks the 70th anniversary of the arrival of the famous ship, the Empire Windrush, to the United Kingdom at Tilbury Docks. Indeed, my own father arrived at Tilbury Docks in October 1947, a year before the Windrush, after his family lost their house and farmlands and estates during the violence of the partition of India that year, to earn money to support his family back home. So I do personally feel a great bond with the descendants of the Windrush generation, many of whom are here tonight. And I salute you all as pioneers. The arrival of the Windrush and the formation of the National Health Service in 1948 are not unconnected as well. The first marked a milestone in the creation of a multicultural society in Britain that we both know and celebrate today. Nowhere is this multiculturalism more evident and more successful, I would say, than in the NHS. As a doctor myself, I've worked alongside exceptionally gifted, caring and challenging, diverse group of people who make up our health service. And despite the many challenges we face together, the NHS remains a model to much of the world. 2018 also marked the 100th anniversary of another organisation of which I'm very proud to be a member, the Royal Air Force. Many of those who came to the United Kingdom on the Windrush had served in the RAF during the Second World War. And I believe that started a culture of acceptance within the UK Armed Forces that remains prevalent today. The Armed Forces are an equal opportunities employer. There is absolutely no gender pay gap and no glass ceiling on progression. And dare I say it, you can see that by the person speaking to you now. The only yardstick you're measured against is your ability to deliver success on operations, to work together in a team, to show leadership and achieve favourable outcomes from seemingly impossible situations. That is what the Armed Forces do, and that's what we're about. I very much look forward to hearing of such abilities and achievements during the awards presentations tonight. And may I take this opportunity to congratulate in advance all those who have been nominated and all those who are going to win such awards. I'd like to also reiterate my thanks personally to the Phoenix newspaper, together with the West Midlands Armed Forces and Cadets Association and all other contributing parties for making this amazing event possible. And finally, I'm sure you need no encouragement from me. I hope you have a really successful and happy evening. Thank you very much.
So, Vice-Marshal, that was the prelude. Now we need the main course, and would the editor-in-chief of the Phoenix newspaper, Marcia McLaughlin, please join us on stage. And I believe we have a brigadier or two who are going to accompany us for this, for this particular signing. So could we have our brigadiers up on stage, please, to complete our look and to help us perform these duties. Thank you very much indeed. Aha! Gentleman looks like a brigadier to me, if ever I saw one. Look at those medals. Right. And I believe we also have, there's Daniel. Daniel has a pen, because when you sign a covenant, you normally have to have a pen to help to seal the deal. Marcia, this is happening. It's really happening. Now, if I may be so bold, here is a covenant, and here's what it says. I'm going to leave Marcia to explain what it says and to do the honors with our colleagues, our military colleagues, up here on stage. So there we have. If you could let people know what it says.
Can I read it?
Yes, please, I think so.
The Phoenix newspaper, TPN Media Limited, we the undersigned commit to honour the Armed Forces Covenant and support the Armed Forces community. We recognise the value serving personnel, both regular and reservist, veterans and military families, contribute to our business and our country. Thank you.
So there are the words. We need your response. Thank you very much. Okay. Let's get those signatures. I see the way Donald Trump signs his when he's just done an executive order, and Marcia does it with the same panache. And then, Air Vice-Marshal Mozumder, we need your signature. And there we have it. I believe we need some pictures. So perhaps